Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to day 14 of the challenge. I can't believe it, day 14. We are now ending phase two, so it is transformation phase that's taking place starting today. So obviously, we want everybody try to get onto Facebook, use the page. We're posting lots of videos. I'm posting trades. I posted this morning's oil trade. Um, I know that Facebook has its challenges, but it is what we have and it is what we're using. So try to make use of it. In spite of Facebook's disorganization, I mean, it is what it is. But go on there. There's a lot of good info that we're posting. DMMs are sent the day before. And again, everybody, if you're having problems getting them, please triple check your spam folders. We are absolutely emailing them to everyone on the list to the email that you gave us the day before. If there's, for instance, if there is an event today, then we are emailing the DMM yesterday, usually by 3 p.m. the email goes out. That's the norm. I'd say most days emails go out by 3 p.m. Okay, so let's start the way we always do. Any questions, any more questions? Any problems, let me have it. Let me hear it. If not, I'll just get started on today's topic. I don't see a lot of questions yet. So if you have any questions, why don't you ask me now? If not, Saturday will be Q&A day. So you could also save up any questions you have for Saturday. So I don't see any questions. Everybody can hear me just fine, right? Can you hear me? Okay. I want to make sure you can hear me. Okay. So Roz, my member friend, did not get back to me on VPS info, so I will push him. I'll push him for that, okay? And see if I can get an answer by tomorrow. But Roz is asking a good question. There's a couple. Let's go to Google for a second. So Roz lives far away from Chicago, where the exchange computers are. Um, and she struggles to get good internet connection. And even if you're in the US, if you have problems with getting connected, there are services called a VPS, a virtual private server. Now, I'm not looking for the ones that are necessarily Forex, okay? Because we're not trading Forex. So I would maybe modify my search to the best VPS for futures trading, okay? And it's been a long time since we have used one. We are not using them. So one of the ones that was very good a while ago um, was Speedy Trading Servers. They were a very good company when we dealt with them, and their prices were very reasonable. So let's just take a peek, just out of curiosity. So obviously they're going to explain what it is. And basically what you do is you load your software, and you can see they're NinjaTrader compatible. You load your software on their servers, okay? Um, and that will allow you to trade on their computers, okay? In other words, you're connecting to them, but you're actually using their computer to trade on. So it can give you a faster ability to trade, okay? Now, in terms of getting better fills, etc. Now, Roz is saying we're struggling with subscribing to the $21 package for CME data, also the NT platform, NinjaTrader. Now, there might be first of all, there might be a little bit of confusion here. To my knowledge, there is no 21 package. There's either a $12 package or a $39 package. The $39 package has better liquidity and some extra features. You get essentially the same data, but you get more data with the more expensive package. You get uh, more different price levels than you get on the less expensive data. Now, if Dan is not answering Roz, then I would just go to brokerage support. I mean, I unfortunately I can. He's been really good about answering, so I'm surprised he's not. You can't reach anybody at CME. You have to do it through Ninja Trader. It would probably not be possible. I wouldn't even try to reach the CME. That's like trying to call Verizon for email tech support. It's not going to happen. You really talk to the broker to deal with the data subscriptions. They're the ones that you're purchasing it through. So deal with the broker and Ninja Trader. They answer their emails all day long, Roz. So, but I mean, they're in Chicago, so they're an hour earlier than me. So for now, they're at 11 a.m. I guess they're Central Time. They're Central Time, and I would look to grab them at um, brokerage support at ninjatrader.com. And Carlo, if you paid for trade room access, if you upgraded your challenge to trade room access, DMMs were part of that. So, but I would before you say you didn't get it, please check folders. If you had an old email account, check the spam folders for that email account. It's really strange sometimes where spam files go. But if you were trade room upgrade, DMMs are included. Okay. Today, what we're going to do, and if you're still having a problem, please send an email to help@10minutetrades.com, help@10minutetrades.com, and someone will get back to you about DMMs not showing up in your email. Okay? Help@10minutetrades.com. Okay. So today, a couple of things that we want to do. We never really talk much about discretionary trading. Everybody, and I mean everybody, should at this point be able to put on a simulated trap trade and a simulated breakout trade. Everybody, at a minimum, should be watching the videos every day. If you're not doing your work, then you're not going to get far as you need to go, obviously. If you're coming to all the classes, then, just watch what you need to go over, obviously. But I'm making sure that I post every video every day, almost always a couple of minutes after I leave here. I think there was only one video that didn't get posted right away. Okay. So if you're not making nobody could be expected to make every class, but the video will be posted, definitely. And so everybody at this point should be able to should be able to practice a breakout trade and a trap trade, two separate strategies. Yesterday we did extra playback and we did extra trap trade work so that people could get ready for Thursday if they wanted to practice the retail report, which is Thursday, tomorrow now, at 8:30 in the morning, US retail. That's a trap trade. So hopefully everybody's been practicing and getting ready for that. If you're not a trade room member, just get up in the morning, get up, a little bit early and set up a trade and practice it. Set it up and practice it. And let me show you what else we're going to cover. Or there's a day that we're going to do recording and journals. So, I highly recommend that you try going forward when you're done with this class, get into the habit of recording everything you do when it comes to trading and record in a journal everything you do. And that way, if you've been coming into the trade room, we're always looking at previous videos to get an idea of what might happen during an event, or we might get an idea what we don't like or what we love about a setup that we're going to trade. So I don't think there's anything more important than recording and playback and practicing playback. Those are two really, really vital subjects that you want to have some setup, some system in place so that it just becomes a part of your everyday habit. Okay. I would highly recommend. So today we're going to talk about discretionary trading. A lot of people think that we don't do discretionary trading, that we don't have any, that our software only works on event trading. But the fact is, we've given you two major strategies that our software supports, and you can use those strategies to trade any number of different scenarios. So, discretionary trading, if you're not familiar, I think most people know what it is. It's really just setting up your own trades. It's trading at the time that you choose, trading at, using the markets that you like, and you can use our software to help you do that. So let's get into that a bit, but I want to do something first. I did it once, but I want to do it again because I think it's really helpful if we do things more than once because we all forget. I mean, I forget, and it's a great thing if it just gets repeated. So I want to show you how to set up your charts so they look like mine. And one of the reasons why I don't usually tell everybody to emulate what I do, but my charts are really simple. Okay. I don't use a lot of indicators. Um, and it makes trading really, really simple. If you use too many indicators, you're never going to trade. You're just going to outthink yourself, and you're going to sit and worry about, lines passing over lines. You don't have to use a million different things to get set up. So let's say you want to start creating your own trades and you want to make your charts. Maybe you like my charts, okay? So my charts are very simple. I'm just using an indicator that puts the open, the high, and low on my chart. And I'll tell you why I think that's important. And I also use the pivots, daily pivots, okay? R1, resistance 1, 2, and 3, and support 1, 2, and 3, and PP, what I call it the central pivot. Um, Pivots and the highs and lows can often behave like magnets. They will sometimes appear to pull price into them, and many times you can set up a trade based on your proximity to a magnet. And in fact, we have a feature in the software that we haven't even really gotten into yet, even for our regular members. We're going to start working on it in January. It's called the magnet trade. We have a way to semi-automate trading around pivots, not pivots, but highs and lows. And it's a very interesting feature in the software. But for us, what we're dealing with is the breakout trade and or the trap trade. And again, so trading discretionary is just simply making up your own trades. So I want to just give you a couple ideas today how you can do it. But first, let's make believe you want simple charts. And look, everybody ultimately will use the charts that they want to use. Okay, that's life. Now the squeeze, which is at the bottom here, is I did not get the squeeze for free when I got it. It was an indicator that I had to be a member of a website called Futures.io. And it's actually, look, we talk about tools and we talk about, you know, spending money on some tools, not spending money on other tools. Now, someone told me that Futures IO raised their price on being a member. So when I was a member, it was very inexpensive, but now apparently it's a little bit more expensive. Um, but the nice thing about being a member is they have a tremendous amount of indicators and strategies if you want them. Okay. Now, I somebody was going to fine for me because I didn't get it, and I apologize. Ninja Trader has a community. Okay. Let me just see if we can, if somebody knows where it is, where Ninja Trader posts all the free indicators that they offer. Let me just take a quick look. Someone posted it the other day for me, and I forgot to note it. So let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Because Ninja is pretty good. They have a very big community of users, and they have a tremendous amount of indicators. Okay, I knew someone would give it to me. The ecosystem is what they call it. So let's go there. I'm going to post it. Let's go there first because everybody wants to find a good deal on indicators. They don't want to spend a fortune on them. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Okay, so if you go to personalize your platform, there's a lot of apps and indicators at this site. Okay, so let's see, just take a quick, I'm going to take a quick look. A lot of advertising. You know, it all used to be so much better. So this is there. So I'm still not quite seeing what I want to see here, Lucy, if you know what I mean. I want, I think, let me see real quick. I don't want to spend much more time on this. Otherwise, they have a lot of backdated webinars. Nothing wrong with that. But I want, what I need is let me try one more. I want to see a list of all their indicators. Somebody finds it, post it. For now, let's go on with the lesson. And if we don't find it at this moment, I'll make sure I post it into Facebook. I'll find it. I'll get it posted into Facebook if we don't find it during class. Okay? So I want to show you how to set up. Did I miss the trading indicators, Lucy? So wake me up here. Wake me up here so I can show everybody because I'm not, they've changed it so much since I've looked at it. All right, so I'm at the, oh, I see it. Okay, trading indicators. Here we go. Great. Okay, this is what I was looking for. So here's what you're going to type in. And you know, you want to try and find, there's so many indicators out there. Most of the indicators you don't need to pay for. Most indicators are lagging, meaning they take a while to work after price moves. Okay. So what I'm looking for, and I don't know if there is a squeeze that we could find. Okay. So there's a dynamic squeeze indicator. Usually there's some free ones. You'll find that some will be free, some may not be also. So you got to be careful, okay? I'm looking for a free ninja squeeze, okay? And I'll come up with one. I'm sure there is one out there. So for today, I want to show you how to make your charts look exactly like mine. I like the squeeze because as a lagging indicator, it's one of the better ones. It's definitely one of the better lagging indicators. Okay. Everything else, all the other indicators that I use on my charts, I'm getting from Ninja for free or somewhere else for free, like the clock. Does everybody know where to get this clock from now? Right? Topmost clock. Let me post that for you all. Okay. Topmost clock is so important to me. I couldn't trade without it. Okay. I'll tell you what, I can make the program, I believe I can make the program a handout. Okay. No, it won't let me do it. Okay. I can't. So let me get the link for you. You all see me use topmost clock in the room. Um, I can't, I can't live without it. It's just that simple. I would not be able to live without it. So let me make sure my link works. Okay, now, folks, Roz, I emailed you the clock. Check your email. I emailed it to you. Here's the link for topmost clock. It's a Google Drive file. So I always thought everybody knows how to download a Google Drive file. When you get a link for a Google Drive file, it'll give you a weird screen that looks like this. Just click the right arrow over here in the upper right corner. Click it, and it'll download the file for you. And it'll put it in whatever file folder downloaded files go to on your computer. Most people, okay, most people downloads go into your download folder, okay, download folder. Um, K-Squeeze is not free, Mohammed. I don't use any of those. As I explained, I got my squeeze indicator from Futures IO. It's the TTMS squeeze indicator. But you want to try and find a free one. They almost all of them work the same. As long as it's well written, it's just a simple momentum indicator. I'm not recommending that you go out and buy a squeeze indicator at this point. And it's not even 100%, it's not required at all for what we're doing in the challenge. Okay, we don't really use the squeeze in the challenge. So you don't, it's just an extra thing that I use on my chart that I like. So for today, we're going to forget the squeeze because it's, like I said, you don't need it. And, not everybody wants to pay for indicators. I paid for this squeeze because I became a member of Futures IO. Now, if you want to make your charts look exactly like mine, create a new chart, go to New and Chart. We'll do it totally from scratch, and we'll create a gold chart. Let's create the ES chart since everybody knows the ES. So on Instrument, you just click the down arrow and choose ES. Now you want it. Now here's the funny thing: on my system today, it's not the ES current contract right now because I've been doing other things. So it puts different instruments in your folder in different orders. So just choose, go to Futures and use today's ES. The ES today is 3 ES0323. So it may be in your folder. It may be in your folder, or it may come up in your list. And then add that instrument. And you don't have to change any of the defaults at all. And when I say, what do I mean by defaults, right? Go to new, go to new chart, right? Create a new chart, select down. See how ES323 is at the top of my list now? That's because I used it recently. So I'm going to choose ES323, double click it. On the right hand side are all the defaults. We don't need to change any of them, okay? The one thing I double check is you don't want too many days to download. So for now, 5 is enough. You don't want to do anything that might slow down NinjaTrader. One thing you want to know is if you scroll down, plot executions down at the very bottom. If you don't have it set to text and marker, when you place an order, you won't see the price you got in at and the price you got out at. So you want to have your plot executions, text and markers chosen. Okay, text and markers chosen. It's a 1 minute chart. The type one for 1 minute. Um, Trading hours is one interesting item that I use instrument settings, and that calculates my indicators from 6 p.m. the previous day. Because an indicator could be a type of a product that calculates a value from a certain time. So if you're calculating a high or a low of the day, it's calculating it from a certain time. So I like to calculate from the day before at 6 p.m. when the market's open. Everything else, you just leave it be. It's just the defaults. I mean, look, you can go through some of it as you get more and more experienced. You'll go down and you'll figure out what it all means. For now, you don't have to worry that much. Just create a chart and okay it. Now we have a brand new chart and we want to make it look like mine. So we're going to do it real simple. The first thing that I like to do is you got to turn on your chart trader, right? So go up to the top here, the taskbar of the chart, and this little picture in here is chart trader. Click on chart trader, and there's chart trader. Now, chart trader, if you right click a blank area in the chart trader, one thing you probably want is you want your money to show up if you're making a trade. So you have to tell chart trader, click the right mouse button, properties, P&L display unit. That's this blank area here. It says P&L. It's going to show you points, every point you made on a trade or every tick. I like if it shows me I'm up $5 or $10. So I call the display unit currency. All right. Now it'll show me currency. And then also show realized profit and loss when flat, P&L. Show the realized profit and loss when flat. When a trade's over, it'll show me whether I made money or not. It'll keep a running total for me on the sim chart trader if I'm on sim. Okay, so I like to see the running total. Otherwise, it'll show zero. Okay, so if I apply them both, now that shows me money if I take a trade, and it'll keep a running total when a trade is over. So that's convenient. If you don't want to see the money, some people just want to see the ticks they're making, then you choose points or ticks. Just choose whichever is appropriate for what you would like. Now you notice that the price is very close to the margin here. So I right click the chart. I like a little bit bigger margin. Right click the chart, click on properties, right side margin. I'll make it like 25 and apply it. Okay, it bingo. And now I have a little more space, so that's nice. Now those candles are a little tight. They're really tiny. So if you hold down your left mouse button, hold down your left mouse button on the price down at the bottom, hold it down and scroll left. You could make bigger candles. Scroll right, holding down the button. Okay. And then if you hold down the mouse button and your control key, you can move the chart up and down. All right. I know we did this before, but not everybody remembers. If you just hold down your left mouse button, no control key, you can make your candles bigger. All right. Taller. Those are a couple of good handy things to know. So now, indicators I'm going to put on my chart. Very easy. Also, one more thing. If you want to shrink your chart horizontally, hold down the left mouse button until you see your little arrow, just like Windows. Okay, and I can move it over. All right. Now I'm going to add the indicators I use to make my charts what I think is a real easy way to trade, discretionary or news. I want the high and low of the day. So I right click, click on indicators, Ninja in the available indicators, scroll down to current day, open, high, low, okay? Double click it, I got the open, high, low, apply it, okay it, and then bingo. The green is my high, the red is my low, and then the orangey is my open, okay? I like those levels. Those levels are very useful to have on your chart. John, I've never seen a Ninja Trader chart that doesn't have time on the bottom of your chart. I would guess that your chart is being blocked, so make your chart smaller by holding down the mouse button and shrinking your chart. I would guess you're blocking the price. Okay. I mean, all you have to do is far. I've never seen a Ninja Trader setup that doesn't have the times. All right. So make sure your chart's not too long. I'm guessing that that's what it is. Repeat which one, Mohammed? Repeat which one? Open, high, low. Right click the chart, click on indicator. It's a free indicator in Ninja Trader. Just scroll down, current day OHL. Double click it. Okay. Double click it, apply it. Now it's on my chart. There are a couple of things you can configure if you want to. You could decide if you want to even show all three of them, the high, the low, or the open. Okay, you uncheck it if you don't want it. And the color. You know, I like maybe a brighter color on the high. So I'll click the arrow and change the color to a little bit brighter so I can see it better. Lawn green. And you could change the style of the lines from a dash, okay? And you can make the lines thicker with the width, okay? So now you got it as that green that I can't see that well, so I'd probably change that, okay? But I'm going to leave it for now. So that's the open, high, low indicator. Then I'm going to add the Ninja pivots, the pivots. Right click the chart, click on indicators, scroll down. Ninja Trader has built-in pivots. And that's it. Pivots are enabled. Okay. Now, there are 7 pivots. Resistance 1, 2, and 3. Support 1, 2, and 3. Pivots are, best way to explain what a pivot is, there are, not to confuse you, but there are many versions of many pivots. I wouldn't get all bent out of shape over pivots because there are floating pivots and moving pivots. I use the general purpose pivots because they're popular. And the reason a pivot might work is because a lot of people look at them. Okay. So using the popular ones means a lot of people look at them. So when a lot of people see the price get close to a pivot, they might buy or sell or do something sort of expected. So that's why pivots are useful. Don't get married to them. You know, they're not the end all. They can be a useful guide. They can be an area to which price might pop or drop to, and they might be an area that price gets pulled into. Okay, they're very useful. I like them. I use them, and the PP to me is the strongest pivot. If you ever see the PP like it is today, it's close to the high. Okay, that's a good magnet. At some point, the price may decide to head up there because it's a strong magnet. It gets pulled, okay? The other instrument I like to put on, the other indicator, is net change display, and I talk about this one all the time. Double click it, net change display. Most of the time, the unit that I look at it in is ticks or points, okay? Ticks or points. With the ES, you want to look at the ES in points because that's how everybody calculates it. And that's all you got to do. Just tell it points. The other thing you can do if you want to, there's a location control in net change display. If you just do default, it's going to show up on the upper right. It's kind of blocked up there. Okay. So the ES is up on the day, roughly 17 points from last night. But I'd rather to see that better. So I'm going to right click my indicators, go down and highlight net change display. And the location, I want it to be the bottom right. Okay. Bottom right, apply it. Okay. So see now my net change display is at the bottom right. I can see it a lot better. And it's a real good way to look at a chart. Excuse me one sec. And see how volatile that instrument might be on the day. Okay. So it's a great little indicator that I just use it. I like it. No law says you got to use it, but I like it. Okay. It helps me when we come into the room, when we trade our market opens. I like to know, is oil really bullish at the time of the market open? Is oil really bullish at the time of the API report? These are things it helps me make decisions. So it's a good indicator. It is a good indicator. And then the clock is an indicator. Okay. That's an indicator. It's free. Knowing the time and calculating things around time, very, very useful. Sandy, I just don't use the ATR. So, I mean, I'm not a big indicator guy. I mean, everybody has a special indicator that they like. So, it's not that it compares to ATR, it's just that ATR is another way to look at price action. So, there's a different indicator for every human in the world. Everybody thinks that their indicator is the best and it works the best. ATR stands for average true range. It might give a range of price on an instrument for the day. I don't look at it, Sanders. So to me, I don't. It's just not one of the ones I use. But some of our members do. Excuse me one second. Some of our members do, and they all use different ones. Okay, because there are hundreds of indicators. You can absolutely have two clocks showing Roz. Each clock usually, you can't do two topmost clocks that I know of. What I was thinking is you meant a different clock program. I don't know of a way to get topmost clock to work twice. So that would be a no. But you could download, I'm sure there's other free clock programs that would let us use clocks. That I bet we could find. Okay. So, folks, that is it. That's my charts. Not very complicated. I'm not even using EMAs. Okay. Um, I'm usually trading events, and think about it. Events move quickly, and most indicators can't keep up with events. I don't really need to spend a whole heck of a lot of time worrying about indicators because it's just not the way that I trade. You know, the one indicator that I like is tick strike. It's the most expensive indicator that I know, and it's not even in the range of prices. Um, it's an expensive indicator because it's not free. It's made by the people that make financial juice, and I love the indicator, and we use it when we trade market opens. But you don't have to use it. You can come into the trade room and watch me use it and not pay for it. So that's one of the reasons people come into our trade room. If we're trading market opens, I'm using the indicator and you can watch it. You don't have to buy it or rent it. Okay. But when you find a tool that helps you make money, you'll be willing to buy it. That's all there is to it. But don't go out there and do what all new traders do, or even all experienced traders do. Don't go out there looking for indicator after indicator to help you become a successful trader. It's not going to help you become a successful trader. Um, don't go buying 80 million indicators. Just don't. Just stop yourself. Um, don't get hooked on a million different products. Just be a chill person, relax, Use a couple of popular indicators to start with, and then when you know what you're doing, then spend money on your indicators. Don't rush out and buy 8 different indicators when you don't know what the indicator is being used for. My advice would be if you don't know why an indicator is doing what it's doing, at least, or what it really is going to be used for, don't buy it. If you find a mentor, like, you found us, right? We have software. We sell our software. Obviously, we think our software is worth buying. If you know you want to trade with the mentor that you found or the educator, right? Then yes, buy their stuff. But my recommendation generally would be I wouldn't spend mega thousands of dollars before I spent a lot of time with somebody watching what they do. I wouldn't watch a couple of YouTube videos and spend $5,000. I would want to go into their trade room a little bit. I would want to see what they do, you know? And that's why we do what we do. Um, we show you almost everything, all the main things that we do, so that you know in advance what everything we're doing. I mean, I don't have any surprises. I don't have extra software that I'm holding back. There's features that we didn't teach everybody every feature because it's not time efficient to do everything in 21 days. But we're not going to say, hey, and don't forget our special software indicator that's, $8,000 if you want to trade events. That's not what we're about. And you don't want to spend an enormous amount of money unless you know why you're spending it and you want to really trust the person that you're spending it with. Okay. And I mean, I just can't tell you how many bad products we've all bought that we shouldn't have. And we're sorry that we did. Okay. How do you save this chart? Okay, good question, Mohammed. I'll explain that. Carlo, I don't know what you're asking me. Which indicator? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm sorry. Um, I don't know what you're saying. So, Carlo, keep in mind this is all recorded. You could check out the recording to catch what you got confused about. How do we save this chart so that your chart always opens this way? So what you want to do is save a workspace. All right. So let's say you created a chart. Okay. You created an ES chart. Go to workspace. And when you pull it down, the default workspace, if you never saved one before, will be untitled. It'll say untitled. So you'll either be on untitled or you'll be on a workspace that has a name. If you highlight that workspace, it'll open up Save As. Click on Save As. Create a new workspace. Call it JOBB Hello. All right, I'm just doing that so I erase it. JOBB Hello is the workspace. Save it. Okay. Go back to workspace. You'll be on that workspace, JOBB Hello. And then if you want that workspace that you last worked on to come back into Ninja when you leave Ninja and then come back, when you exit Ninja with the X over here, which is the proper way to exit, do you want to save workspace? JOBB hello, say yes, and Ninja will shut down. And then when you come back, okay, then when you come back, that workspace will be here. Okay, that workspace will be here. So John is asking, how do you turn on your data? How do you turn on your data? So John, if you've subscribed to data and you've typed in your password and ID, your data is on when you after you connect to it. So you don't turn your data on, but one time when you first enter your password and ID. When you buy data, they'll email you your password and ID, and then you set up a connection. Okay. And once that connection is set up, every time you get connected, your data will be on. Okay. So the question isn't how do you turn on your data, it's after you get data, there's a short little Ninja Trader demo you could watch about how to create a connection with your data. Okay. If your data is not working now, make sure that you're connected in connection, right, to whatever you called your data connection. In other words, my data connection is NTFMT. I gave it a name. Make sure you're not disconnected from it. If nothing has a green next to it, then you might have disconnected it by accident. So check in connection to make sure that you're connected. Okay. And John, I would highly recommend that you start watching some Ninja Trader, their beginning, how do I get started, little videos. They have a series. Let me show you where they are. They're great. They're great. Um, and in fact, when you get started with them, they email you all these links that I'm giving everyone. Okay. But we all know that some of you don't read your emails, some of you don't get your emails, some of you can't find your emails. I don't know how to deal with you all and emails anymore. I don't know how to deal with it. But if you just Google Ninja Trader videos, you'll get, or Ninja Trader video library, you'll get all these great little categories, okay? That will show you how to use the program, like order entry. You could click that. Chart Trader, the Dome, um, everything. I highly recommend that everybody watch a couple of the videos. You know, the more you're willing to learn about the platform, the better you're going to trade, right? Because, you know, you want to be able to move your orders around and be ready to trade, right? And know how to do certain things when a trade is taking place. So definitely watch some of the videos. You know, their connection video is a very good one. Um, so it's just something I recommend. I mean, if you're coming from another trading platform, you know, probably a lot you could teach yourself if you've used a different platform. It's very possible you could teach yourself. All right. So we got a chart. I'm not real happy with my high of the day. It's hard to see, right? It's a bad color. So I'm going to highlight that, click properties, and I can re-edit my current day indicator, highlight it. I could scroll down and just change that current high color. So on my white charts, it'll look better as a dark green. Okay. So I just change the color, apply it, okay, and now it's easier to see. So let's say you're done news trading for the morning and you have a great trade that you love. You love trading the ES um, because you noticed that it goes down most days between 1250 and 1255. Okay, 1250 and 1255. All right, John, write it again. I'll try to answer the question. Write the question again. I'll definitely try to answer it. So let's say you noticed that you think the price is going to go down within the next 5 minutes. So you could set up a breakout trade, right? You could take our software, right click the chart, click on strategy, double click JOBB, and set up a breakout trade. Watch what you could do. So you're going to activate this trade. Let's say we think it's going to be 1255. All right. So at 5 to 1 every day, right? That's going to be 1355. Am I right on the time, folks? I hope so. No, that's 155. We're going to be 1255. Oh, don't start with numbers for me. Yep, 1255. okay, with the time. And we're going to make it right at 12:55. You notice the market's moving. So maybe it's the ES. You have to determine, well, it doesn't move all that much. If it moves a point, I want to get into this trade. So a bracket of 4 ticks would be a point, okay? Because the ES moves a tick, a quarter of a point per tick. 4 ticks, 1 ES point. And you're going to use small targets. It's not a really big move. So I'm going to just create one position, and I'm going to look for a 2 point move, 8 ticks. All right. And I want to see this trade. I want to activate this trade at 12. I'm going to say 54 so we don't have to wait too long. 12:54. All right. 4 tick bracket. I'm just one position looking for an 8 tick target. And I'm willing to risk a point and a half on this trade, 6 ticks. Okay. Point and a half. That's my breakout trade. I'm going to check and I'm going to make sure that I'm in sim. We're just testing our idea. Make sure your input series is ES. And you might want to label your trade ES 12:55 trade. Okay. And you might want to give it a date so you know the last time you created this. Actually, you don't have to date it up here. You might want to create a template for this. Create a template, save it, and we'll call this the ES 12:55 breakout. Okay. And a breakout could mean up or down. Break up, break down. And then it's labeled ES 12:55. All right. Not that complicated. Turn off your account warnings if you left them on. They're up here if you're trading live, and then apply it and okay it. And now enable your trade. Now, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong because it triggered early. All right. But let's make believe it's the right time. I'll fix the time. All right. Let's make believe I did it right. So now, if you notice that this particular time of day, it's going to break out, bingo, you can wait. You're going to wait. You know, you're testing a theory. But the point is, you can use the software to, to create almost any time frame in almost any market. If you want to trade gold, you could do it with gold. Now, look, this is how you wind up creating rules. If you're wrong, and the price just sits and sits and sits, you can cancel your trade just by clicking the X. And then you would cancel it up in the top. Okay? Right click the chart, click strategies. Okay, now I didn't do anything wrong. I had set the time at 12:54. That time had already passed. That's why the strategy triggered. So let's say you don't like that setup. It's not working that well. So maybe you want to change the time. Maybe it'll work better at 12:56. And maybe it only needs a 3 tick bracket. So you could change it, apply it, okay it, enable it. And now when the clock gets to 12:56, we're going to see our bracket. And you've created your own discretionary trade. There's our bracket. And now you're waiting. So a couple of things that this does, it lets you take a trade under control, right? You're not just randomly entering a market order. You're not just randomly entering a trade without thinking about it. There's nothing better than thinking about a trade before you take it. Now look, we just got filled. So now you're in a real trade. And in fact, this is a way to practice trading, right? You're in a real trade. You've got your target, right? Remember, we made a target. It's up here. We have our stop down here. We created a stop, and the market's actually going in our favor a little bit. It's not moving much. We didn't, this was not a very big trade. We were only looking for 8 ticks. But does everybody get the point? Any questions? This is extremely simple, but very powerful. You can use any feature of the software at virtually any time to trade any instrument. You could trade when the market is busy, right? This time of day, it's a pretty quiet day, quiet time of the market. It's right before lunch is ending. It's not usually the busiest time of day. Not usually, okay? But to be able to take our software and create any setup. So a couple of very popular setups are time-based setups. So if you want to get out of your trade, right? Right now you're in a trade and you can't cancel it anymore by unchecking it because you got entered into the trade, right? So no matter what, you're going to have to manage your way out of the trade. You could close it by hitting the close button, which gives the broker the opportunity to give you the worst possible trade. Fill. In other words, if you press the close button, the broker gets you out of the trade at the worst price that they're allowed to get you out. That's how I look at the close button. You're always better off if you want to get out of a trade, try to manage your way out. You could hold down your mouse button and move your stop up, right? Or you could get your stop a little closer so your loss is smaller. We call that shrinking the stop. And you could bring your target down. You think you're not going to get to your target, bring it down. Maybe you could save the trade. Bingo, I just dragged it down so I could get 1 tick and maybe just barely cover my expenses, right? So it's really powerful feature to be able to set up virtually any trade, any time of day, just by knowing a couple of simple things. Turn on the strategy, right? Our strategy is here. Control the trade type. It's a breakout trade. We know that a breakout trade activates at the time we type it in. So we could type in a 1 o'clock. Let's do a 101. 1301 would be a 101 breakout trade, right? We're going to use again a 3-tick bracket because it's going to fill us. I can show you a little bit more management. Let's just go for a target of 3. All right. So we're going to, at 101 every day, we notice the market has a little move and we want to take advantage of it. So I have a 3 bracket. I've got position 1 is a 1 contract. I have a 3-tick target and I'm willing to risk 4 ticks. Not that much. All right. And I'm going to go down. You always want to make sure that your input series is the chart that you're trading. And always check your account. Make sure that you're on sim unless you want to be on live, okay? Or on playback. Apply it, okay it, enable it. And now we're just waiting. We know this market's going to kick some butt. We're going to make some serious money when the price starts moving. We've been watching the market. We know this is going to happen. Well, here's your opportunity to check your idea out without losing money. And you can semi-automate it, right? It's automating your entry. Bingo. Okay, where orders are on the chart. What if you think, I don't want to go long? Boom. Move your order up. Get it the heck out of the way. Now, it looks like we did want to go long. Okay, we got filled. The market's really kicking it. Wow, I don't want 4 ticks. I want 8 or 10. Increase your target, right? Start to shrink your stop as your price goes up. Risk a little less, okay? If you want to, if you want to. All sorts of trade management you can do once you're in a trade. Spread your charts far enough apart so you can see things, okay? So you can see things. But here we go. I could move up my stop again. Price is moving up a little bit. Let's see. Maybe it'll hit our target. You never know. Maybe there's news coming out and we know before the news the market moves, right? Sometimes the markets move before news. Bingo, we caught the move and you had a nice discretionary trade that made you money. Now, look, you want to have a reason for doing it. You want it to be as smart a reason as possible. But if you're in the middle of a what you think is a big bullish day, right? You could put a trade on, control your risk with a small stop, and see if you're right, and not lose your whole account because you've controlled the trade. You're not just like going in and hitting the buy button. You just bought a trade at the market. You don't have a stop. What do? If the market explodes down because Powell just said something, you're scrambling and you're now down $300 before you blink, right? You don't want to trade that way. Nobody should trade that way. A real experienced trader might have a reason for jumping into a trade at a certain time, but normally they're going to get their stops going, right? And they're going to get set and they're going to try and be controlled and create an intelligent discretionary trade. So almost any time-based setup, you could trade with the breakout trade. You could trade market opens, right? If you know that the gold open is at 820, you can set up a bracket trade to see if you could find a setup to trade an open with a breakout trade. So many of our trades, members had said, hey, did you notice this happens at this amount of time? We have many trades that we've implemented because you all were testing something and we weren't looking at it. And then we studied it and we agreed and added it. It happens. Trading is a group activity if you're going to do it the best. It's absolutely a group activity. If you do it just by yourself all the time, all alone, it's a longer learning curve. It's longer, but when you spend time in a room or spend time with other people, you'll learn faster. It really will help. All right. And then also remember the way that you set up the strategy, the simple elements that we have in the strategy that we've shown you, the number of contracts. If you want to trade 2 contracts, add position 2 into the mix. Okay. Now you have 2 contracts, so then you're going to make 2 targets. If you only make 1 target, then you'll have both orders at the same target, right? If you have 2 positions and the same target, then both positions will have the same target. If you have a different target, like here's a target of 3 and a target of 5, that's 2 contracts with 2 different targets, all right? You need 2 positions if you want 2 different targets. But not to confuse you, but you could have a position 1 that is a 2, and that means 2 contracts at position 1. But then you would only have 1 target. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear? You would have 2 contracts looking for a 3 tick target. Okay, so you can manipulate these parts of the software. And I'll tell you one extra thing that's built into the software because it's real easy and it's right here. Target 1 stop move. Okay. This is a feature that if you're trading a 2 position or more trade and it hits your first target, you can automatically move your stop to safety. So for target 1 stop move, if you hover over the input line, it tells you what it means. Target 1 stop move. When target is hit, move stop loss from current position to here. Here meaning what you enter into the input. So let's say I have a 2 position trade and I tell target 1 stop move, move my stop to break even if my first target gets hit, I would just type in BE. And then a 2 contract trade, when it hits the first target, the stop automatically moves to break even. If I want the stop to automatically move to entry +2, break even +2, I could just say BE +2. So that would move my stop to break even +2 ticks. I could say something like break even -2. It'll move my stop not quite to break even where I entered, and it's very useful, powerful feature. Okay. So folks, does anybody have any questions? That is how you could create almost an unlimited number of discretionary trades based on time. Okay, based on a move up or a move down at a certain time, which could be a lot of discretionary trades. Any questions? Any questions? Everybody's so quiet today. Everybody's so quiet today. That's what I got for everybody today. I want to talk about just for a minute. Don't forget, we are really now in transformation. So that means work really as best you can to know everything you need to know about entering a breakout trade and a trap trade. Um, because our goal is we want you to be able to not watch me from the sideline, but for you to take a trade with me in the trade room. I don't care if it's live, I don't care if it's sim. The only difference between a live trade and a sim trade is you're willing to risk real money. But the trade itself, you put it in the exact same way. You don't do anything differently. You're going to trade it the way that we trade it. So our goal is to get everybody unafraid um, regarding taking a real trade. Okay. So Roz, having a severe issue with NT, my workspace won't show any chart and crashes when you try to select tools. No. Does that mean the data feed expired? Absolutely not, Roz. Something else is going on. What I would do, probably take a picture of any errors that you're getting. And, it might just be you're having internet connection problems that might be causing all of this. So some of the VPS companies, Roz, have a free trial. You might want to hop on a free trial with somebody. Okay. You might want to have a free trial with a VPS so you could see if it's your, you know what I mean, if it's your ninja. So, Kevon, I didn't do anything with any indicators to do a long or a short. I just used the breakout trade to create a trade in the direction that the market goes by setting up a bracket, right? The movement of the market is going to tell you which direction you're getting pulled in. If the market moves up, you're going to get pulled in long. If the market moves down and breaks through your bracket, you're going to be pulled in short. Now, Mohammed is asking, I hope that answered your question, Kevon. I hope. Mohammed wants to see to save the workspace. Okay, so all of these charts that I have here, I could now save as a workspace. So click on workspace. And whatever workspace you're now on, scroll down to it. And the one you're on has that green box next to it. When you highlight it, it'll allow you to do a save as. Click save as. Type in the name you want your workspace to be. Help me please is the name of our workspace. Okay, save it. Now when I go back to workspace, I'm on the workspace, help me please. I've saved it. Okay, Mohammed, I've saved it. Any other questions? Any other questions? So Kevon, did that answer your question? I'm not using anything except the market action is determining what direction we're getting in or not getting in. The bracket, when the bracket gets broken, by the price action, right? If we turn that trade on again by enabling it, when the price action breaks the bracket up, it's a long. If the price action breaks the bracket short, down, it's a short. If I don't want to go long because I think the market's going down, pull the order up by holding down your mouse button and then let it go. Okay. But don't click it or you'll cancel the trade. Don't click the X or you'll cancel both orders. Saving a template is not a workspace, Mohammed. That's saving the trade setup, not saving the charts. The template is the trade setup. How big your bracket is, okay? Within a workspace, you might have a template, okay? Within a workspace, you might have a template, all right? John, everybody configures their work. There's a video on it. I really just don't have the time today to do something that is so spelled out in the video and that we did in the first video. I would say watch the first video. I just don't have time. I have to get ready for another trade room, the FOMC. So let me give you the exact video, John, so that you could just watch it. It's like a 3-minute video. Let me get it for you. Because also it's easier to watch the video. I don't want to have to show my password to show you how to configure it. So bear with me 1 second. NinjaTrader connection. Okay, John, I'm going to post right now, right in here. Okay, here's the link. Anybody who needs this help. Okay, that's what you're going to be watching. Hold on 1 second, Mohammed, and I'll answer that for you. John, this is coming directly to you and everybody. That's your link for that video. It's like 5 minutes tops. And trust me, they'll do a better job than I will as well. Okay? And then Mohammed, can we do a breakout at open a market and trade based on direction of the trade after the first 2 minute or 5 minute bar? So Mohammed, you can, but not just with a simple breakout. The software, you have to then get into range trades. And we're not really getting into range trades in the challenge, but the software can create range trades based on time, based on number of bars, okay, based on lots of different elements of market price action. So it is possible to create what I would call a range trade. It's a more sophisticated breakout trade, and our software can do very different types of range trades as well. Okay. Any other questions, folks? Any other? If you, in fact, I don't want to torture you, but you could get an idea of other setups. And something you could do when you put the strategy on your chart, right? And you highlight the strategy. Make sure your strategy is not enabled so you can see your strategy choices, okay? When you go click on strategy. If you highlight any of the fields, it explains what they do, okay? And when you click on the arrow down, these are all the different setups our strategy supports. And one of them is range trade. And you could create a range trade based on the start time and the end time. There's a range start and a range end. Just as a little bit of a clue, you could fool around with the range trade if you wanted to. Okay. Okay, folks, I don't see any other questions. A little bit mellow today, but I want to get ready for the FOMC. It's a pretty crazy event, and that's what we got today. So I don't see any other questions. John, the one other thing I would say, just so you don't get stuck, if you can't figure it out, their support is phenomenal, phenomenal. High five, Mohammed. The people to email, John, if you're still having trouble with data connection, would be brokerage support. With the connection, I would email brokerage support at ninjatrader.com. Brokerage support at ninjatrader.com. They might tell you platform support is the way to go, but those are the two main emails. Platform support at ninjatrader.com is usually platform tech support, and then brokerage, which to me would be connection, brokerage support at ninjatrader.com. James, thank you very much. Go have a, well, I don't know if you're coming into the FOMC trade room or not, but anyone whose trade room uh, is subscribing 2 o'clock for the next room. Okay, folks? So I'll see everybody. If not, I'll see everybody tomorrow. I believe we are at noon tomorrow. Yep. So everyone have a great day, and I'll see you all later. So I hope I gave you some good ideas today. Okay, I'll see everybody later. Take care, folks. How do you set the time? Larry, I'll see you later. Okay, folks. Take care.